Man, like I had like last week, I like sneaky had me a good week. I was like on the verge of happiness at points. I was outside.
Love that for
the
you.
whole time. Yeah, weird look. Go off, King.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
Here comes the pizza. Ian Rappaport. You hate to see it happen to one of the good guys. Ian Rappaport, cool, nice dude, but he got a Here Comes the Pizza this weekend. One.
I'm a big fan of you appropriating "Here Comes the Pizza" for like just.
It's mine. Yeah, I made it up.
And it's so far, like everybody knows. I think a lot of people don't know what.
I was gonna say, like, I bet a lot of people, like, we got a national audience. I bet a lot of people have never heard "Here Comes the Pizza" before.
I had to explain it on the Twitch channel once, and then I proceeded to play the video, and they're like, "That's the funniest thing I've ever seen."
Yeah,
correct, it is, and everybody around here knows it. So it is a very infamous phrase around here. Here comes the pizza. We're detached enough from the actual "Here Comes the Pizza" thing that like you being able to like repurpose that is like within reason.
"Here Comes the Pizza" happened when 2008, something like that.
Yeah, around there. And
that was one of the funniest live sporting events I've ever seen in my life. For folks who don't know, it was a Boston Red Sox day game, and somebody was interfering. A fan was interfering with the play, and someone didn't like what they were seeing, so they tossed a slice of pizza at them. And when they showed the replay of the whole shebang, Jerry Remy, the beloved Red Sox color commentator, says, "Okay, watch. Okay, here comes the pizza."
It is legitimately one of the funniest clips that I've ever seen in my life because they just him and Don Arcillo, who's now like the best
Magic Report.
Yeah, the best baseball announcer in the entire league, just could not stop dying laughing after the "Here comes the pizza" comment.
It was a unbelievable, hilarious sporting moment. I can't believe that someone hasn't done I'm sure they have, like an oral history of Here Comes the Pizza. And I don't, what would Remy's answer be though? Like, whoa, how did you? So
he didn't think about
when
it.
You said "Here comes the pizza." Like, did you know that that was it? That had it?
No.
Although I don't think
the guy recently though the pizza thrower recently resurfaced.
Was he up to his old tricks?
No, but he gave his first interview in 12 years.
He broke his silence.
Yeah. He did stay quiet for 12 years, and then all of a sudden, a year or two ago on a Red Sox broadcast, they just had him on.
Wow.
It was incredible.
And it was no harm, no foul, statute of limitations had lapsed.
Yeah, and it was maybe even better than expected. It was somehow we waited 12 years to hear from this guy, and then we finally do, and it was worth the wait. He was so funny.
What would happen now if a fan threw a slice of
There'd
pizza?
There'd be a big discourse on Twitter about that guy's an asshole. We can't laugh at this.
And then we would find out what the person who got pizza thrown at them
what they said,
why they got laid off from their 2 jobs ago or something.
That's true.
And it would be a whole thing, and both participants would be like, "I truly wish this didn't happen." Let's just all the pizza thrower would become famous and then get canceled.
Yeah.
And
here's the
victim would
pizza
also get canceled.
Here's the pizza thrower, the beloved pizza thrower. We all love. Oh, he's racist.
Right.
Very cool.
Something terrible about the pizza.
Did you
thrower.
see? Did you keep up with any of the Sons and Four guy? How hard? No, he didn't get canceled, but he just tried to monetize his 15 seconds of fame so hard.
Yeah.
He was selling autographs.
Interesting.
He's autographing basketballs and merchandise and stuff. The guy really wanted to cash in.
Did it work?
I mean, probably to an extent.
Depending on
we
if
make
it's cool,
money,
right? I might check it out and see maybe in a couple of weeks if they've still got some left. Dip in there, grab that Sons and Four autograph
on clearance.
I might. I'm just gonna take the 2 weeks to think about whether or not I want it. And if I ultimately want it, then I should buy something that makes me feel good. And if I want that autographed Sons and Four T-shirt, and it's how much is he selling it for? $90?
Maybe.
Let's. I'll have to see what the shipping situation is over
Sleep
there.
on it.
But the Here Comes the Pizza was for Ian Rappaport, who tweeted, just got dragged, most predictable thing in the world. But that's what this type of Here Comes the Pizza is about. It's when you can see that everyone's about to be super mean to somebody on Twitter, or if like I said that wrong, like if somebody has said something that is going to set off a chain reaction, whether
a ratio,
whether it's offensive, whether it's just something that will get a rise out, like
it's like a here we go type thing.
Yes, you could say "Here Comes the Pizza" on any Darren Rovell tweet.
Okay.
When like he didn't like really harm anybody or do anything, but it's like people are just gonna ratio him. That's a good way of putting it. But this was, you could see this coming a mile away. Ian quote tweeted Tokyo Olympics post with Robert Quinn's sister wins gold. Very cool. Most obvious Here Comes the Pizza I've seen in my life.
Come on, man. We've been around too long for you to fall into that trap, Ian.
So that's where I obviously, like, she has a name, and you like
right.
it's better to say the person's name, but
say the person's name, like comma,
right.
This person's sister.
There you go.
Right.
I understand. It's not done maliciously on Ian's part.
Right.
He's got to think. He's a football writer. His audience
this is my fan base.
knows
Yeah.
who Robert Quinn is. The audience might not know his sister. I did find it funny, though. A lot, not necessarily funny, but interesting. It kind of appropriate for Twitter, I suppose. A lot of the responses are just like, "She has a name, you ass," and that person doesn't say what the person's name is. So it's like, do you know the educate him,
right.
Let's help. Let's
Hey, Ian, would love to help you out here.
Right.
This is her name.
Exactly. I've not known Rap Sheet to be a hater. Like,
he should go back and reply to all of them and be like, "Oh yeah, what is it?"
yeah. See that in like his.
I wasn't being serious.
I was
but
gonna say I took his as like, obvious misstep.
Right. Like you can't be a dick afterwards. Like
yeah, right.
Right.
You could follow up and be like, "Hey, I made a mistake here. You're right. I should have phrased it this way." But if you come back and be like, "I don't think you know her name either,"
I would respect him committing to the bit though, and then just be like, "Oh yeah, what's the name?"
I feel bad now. I've not said her name. Jasmine, and she is a great Olympian.
What sport?
I believe. Hold. Hurdles, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hurdles. 100-meter. I don't. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't tell me anything. If
I
someone
think
says
that's quite short. That's like a sprint.
100 meters. I was thinking kilometers.
That would be a
Canada.
much different
Yeah,
race.
I was like,
much different race.
when do they start that race? It's like 100.
The hurdle is finishing it.
Yes. Can you just move? Like, you get to be in a car for part of it. So we should have had Ian on first. I don't think he would have wanted to discuss this, but
No, probably not.
But probably like a lesson learned. I think, like you said, we've been on Twitter long enough that that's a trap to avoid. If you're like,
I mean, you hear come the pizza at him right after he sent it.
Yeah.
And so he probably should have seen that coming.
Yeah. I wonder if
You got pizzaed.
Yep. Just a bunch of pizza emojis.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be a very great way for the listenership to confuse anybody that doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh,
just
they'd
like
be so
dropping
worried. Tag
pizza
us both
emojis.
and then, like a pizza thing.
Yeah.
You'd be like, what does that mean? What do you? So I fell victim to that today. One of my friends texted me in a group text and was like, "DJ, are you okay?" And I was like, "You need to follow. I'm not the person to do that to. Like, I'm gonna have a heart attack over that." And he was like, "Philip Rivers said he wouldn't rule out playing football this season or something like that."
Oh.
And I was like, "No, you can't do that. No,
Right.
I'm not the
Save
one
your
for that.
bullets.
I'm
Yeah.
not the. Yeah, you can't. That. I was like,
You have ruined
I
the rest
was-
of my day.
yeah,
now.
I was waiting for like terrible news that like I didn't know about or something. But I don't want to keep this whole thing negative. But Matt Damon also got his ass kicked this week.
I mean, I actually
For
I
good
was
reason.
completely unplugged from this entire weekend, and I logged onto Twitter for the first time this morning, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
It said like Matt Damon like insists that he never said the F slur, and I was like, oh brother, like.
How did you get there?
Yeah, I was
dudes?
like, oh no. And then I read the story, and I was like, oh, he definitely said it.
Yeah.
Like, he admitted that he said it.
what?
Who are you fooling?
Terrible. First of all, I couldn't believe. I read it so many times. I'm like, there's no way somebody like a well-intentioned person, which has always been like Matt Damon's always been on the liberal side of things. I'm not saying that like you have to be liberal to be well-intentioned or whatever, but like I'm saying like Matt Damon's always
He
struck
seemed
at
like
people
one of
as,
the good guys.
Right. I don't know people who I don't consider well-intentioned to use that word
Right.
recently. So I read it so many. I was like, he didn't. He said he did though.
He
just like
said
volunteered that like
he was like
he
yeah
still
he was
uses that word.
well he was like talking about I guess in the New York Times thing that came out a month ago or something. He like said that he used it in a joke or something, and then
Yeah,
like
he said
his
he used
daughter was
like
like
3
you
months
can't
ago."
say that.
He said his daughter wrote a treatise, which I had to look up that word.
Don't know. Yeah,
I didn't
no
know what
idea.
that. Yeah, it just means. Hold on, let me double check. I have to look it up again.
I took it. I made assumptions,
Context
used context clues, and said that it was like a strongly worded letter or
a
something.
written work dealing formally and systemically with the subject. So like his daughter, like, not
like,
that you need
"Dear
to
Matt
academically
Damon."
break it down, but like broke it down of like, here's why that word's not being said in this household.
Yeah.
Love that from a child to a father saying like, as long as I'm living under your roof, this will not be tolerated for something that like the parent needs to knock
Yeah.
off.
Got like an OK Boomer letter.
Love that out of the love. So like, hero's overstatement, but like, love that out of Matt Damon's kid. But I couldn't believe that, and then he followed up and was like,
Oh, I didn't. I
Oh,
definitely didn't say it. Like,
and then he gets into the whole weird thing. It's like, dude, like you're from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Like you obviously grew up like
Yeah.
like the 90s. Like you have said that word before. But my thing is like I just am astonished that he said it in the last
yeah, but
10 years, 20 years. Like I don't like.
I'm astonished that he went on record and like gave that whole story, which is like a very nice story about like his daughter teaching a lesson or
Yeah.
whatever, and then he was like, came out this time and was like, oh no, I think it was misinterpreted what I was saying in the last interview. I haven't used it even as a joke.
I mean, my mind was. I don't have any like silly commentary on this, like, other than just my mind is blown.
It's
Matt Damon would, again, mainly just that. And look, if he's like, I used to say that word and I'm done with it and I've learned why
Right.
it's terrible, like way too late or like way later than I
Right.
would expect it.
should have arrived at that station a long time ago.
Certainly, but like if you've changed, then shit, better late than
Right.
never. But astonishment that Matt Damon, who has given like eloquent quotes about important things, is like, oh yeah, they just casually use like one of the worst words all the time, and I didn't get that why it was a big deal, and then my daughter pointed it out for me, and like I get it now. Like, how have you had productive conversations and that's never come up?
It's pretty stunning.
Stunning.
So that was a tough thing to like. To be like, okay, I'm back on the grid today.
And I look like Matt Damon.
Yeah, right. And I just opened that one up, and I'm like, shit. Glad that we've aligned ourselves with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I suppose. Nothing came out about Affleck during that. Interesting. Like no statement from him. He
Nope.
did.
What is he supposed to say though?
I mean, he was very supportive in the May 2019 in the May cover of In Style. Now I'm just rehashing old Affleck stuff. The last quote I feel like we got from Ben Affleck, other than "It's me," was in the May issue of InStyle where he commended Jennifer Lopez
Oh, that's
for
right.
like
The
just
work
being
ethic.
dope at everything.
Yeah, work ethic.
But that was really planting seeds. So that was the last official word we got from Ben Affleck, which was like, I'm trying to smash folks. And then he goes back off the grid.
And he says, "Nice computer. Here's suckmydick.com."
Oh my God. And then Matt Damon brought up in like his apology, he was like,
I know.
he was like, I have said it in a movie. And you're like, okay, Matt Damon, just stop. Like,
He's just
I think
like,
I think what you need to
here's
do
all the times
is to
when I've
right,
said
exactly.
it.
It's like I think what you need to do is understand it's a harmful word, not say it anymore, not make it like not make jokes about it.
We
and
don't need to learn about every
stop
time that you've said it.
talking about
Yeah.
like your long
Your
life of
connection-
saying it.
Your connection
Don't talk.
to it.
Yeah, we do not want people that when people think of like hate speech, we don't. You don't want Matt Damon to be like. Are you Matt Damon? Are you here? Are you getting this? And he's like, I'm gonna give just 2 quick more interviews. And
Oh,
then
I
think
just remembered 2 other times when I said it. I would like to address those.
Matt Damon. Not a great little stretch for Matt Damon, and just pure astonishment. Pure astonishment. Let's cleanse the palate now.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about Ted Lasso.
Okay, great.
What's like a nice way to rinse off the what the hell Matt Damon then with Lasso?
I've been watching.
You up on Lasso?
I'm not fully caught up. I'm 1 episode behind, but yeah, I binged it in a day, like a week ago.
And how mad were you? Did you know that that they don't give you the lump sum?
Oh, that like they release it in weekly installments?
Yeah.
No, I like that.
So I like it too, but
Yeah.
I didn't know that until I sat down.
It is tough because it's a super bingeable show. I watched it in one night.
Yeah.
The first season, and so like then realizing that I have to go week by week, it was kind of like a tough change of pace.
Yeah.
But I do like being able to look forward to TV once a week.
I wanted to give Roy Kent the biggest hug after the first episode of this season.
The what happens in
He tells hold on. What's the owner's name?
Rebecca?
Yeah, he tells her so they go on a double date and he gives some like it's like the thing with Ted Lasso is every episode there's like
A message.
kind of like a not too deep message, but one that we could probably stand to hear as we're all so miserable and angry at each other.
Oh yeah, he was like
And it's
don't
basically
settle.
just like don't settle,
Yeah.
which is like a very obvious message, but sometimes people need to hear that. And I don't know. I feel like I'd have to go back. I feel like Roy Kent isn't always like the message deliverer in the episodes.
He's always like the he's abrasive, but like he is always sort of like a moral compass, I guess.
Yeah. We should we should do like a guide to the messages in Ted Lasso and just like go back through the episodes, be like, what is the message of this episode? Because a lot of them is like go easy on yourself, like
Be a
forgive
goldfish.
people. What's that?
Be a goldfish.
What's that?
Have a very short memory.
Is that what he says?
Yeah, he tells one of the players like, "Hey, we gotta be a goldfish. It's the animal with the shortest memory."
Is that because they have the shortest life?
Could be. You should be a goldfish. Die tomorrow.
Yeah, that would be
It's tough. I thought that. Oh no, elephants remember everything.
elephants. Yeah, my first skateboard was a
An elephant.
yes. It was way easier than no wheels. It was. Were you ever into skateboarding?
Yeah.
Nice.
Not
Look
good
us,
at
a
it.
couple of Olympians.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't do anything.
No, but I would cruise around like the driveway and then fall down.
I wouldn't even get to falling down.
Okay.
I would just kind of take a few strides. I think I could do one move, and it was like not necessarily an advanced move, but like 3 steps ahead of any of the other moves. I don't think I could properly do like an ollie, but
you
for
could, like,
whatever reason I could do like a
kickflip.
180 kickflip or something, like where I would like turn to or like 90 degree. No, 90 degree would be hilarious. I think I could do like a 180 kickflip or something.
Okay.
And my friends like my friends could actually do like a bunch of the things, but they were like, how come? Like, what's wrong? Do an ollie now. And I was like, I can't. I would just like.
It's like, no, I've already cruised past we're past that station.
Exactly.
We're two roads ahead.
Right. So that was the only move I could do. But my skateboard was, I believe, a 0.
Okay.
That was my deck. Sorry, that was the skateboard is as we know as skateboarders, collection of everything.
That's right. You want to know a cool thing
What
that
kind of trucks did you have?
No clue. Well, you want to know a cool thing that I did though? Like, I didn't realize that how expensive skateboards were when I was a kid, and so I got one. I got like a very cheap one that was not good, and since it didn't have the deck art that I wanted, I printed out pictures from my computer of things that I liked, and then I just taped them on the bottom of the skateboard.
That is so efficient. I love that.
I had I can remember one thing that is so random. I had a picture of Brett Boone.
Whoa.
For some reason, I used to love Brett Boone.
I was a Joey Cora guy myself.
Okay.
So like, we just liked decent middle
infielders,
on
yeah.
the Mariners.
Well, I was a second baseman, so I think that I just like really appreciated Brett Boone for being like the only star second baseman that I could think of in that like era. And then the Aaron Boone thing happened, and then I was like, okay, I can't like this guy anymore.
Remember when I'll finish my thought on the elephant thing. It was a 0, and it was a big elephant on it, and it said never forget.
Oh.
And I was like, I just had no idea what that meant. But I also didn't know how to skateboard, so it all worked out. Did you have good bearings?
No.
I think I had trash bearings.
Hmm.
I was like, I'm trying to think.
I still lose my bearings
where was
all
I
the
getting
time.
the money for these?
It's so
skateboarding
expensive.
Was expensive.
Very expensive.
And I feel like everybody would be able to just like upgrade their skateboards by selling their parts to somebody else. Like I remember I bought my wheels off of somebody, and I'm like, but how did this start? Like, was everybody just like gifted
like hand-me-downs,
a bunch of
a starter
skateboards
deck
to begin with? And
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what became of. I'm sure I sold my skateboard for like $15 and then bought a CD with it or something.
Sounds about right.
CDs were so much better than skateboards.
Should we like learn how to skateboard as adults? Like that would be a sweet like YouTube series or something.
My guy, I have been blading daily.
I've noticed.
I have been blading my freaking face off. I've put up like a couple of posts on social media about rollerblading. It has taken, and I'm not like gotta put this on the gram like kind of guy. I'm just more like, if I'm on my computer, I'll tweet some nonsense. I'm not as crazy on the gram. It has taken everything from me to not post every second of my rollerblading fun.
Your journey
on Instagram.
Okay.
Because it's everything.
It looks like a good time.
It's so fun. It's just you're just outside your when you're not on your phone. You're just focused on.
I haven't
just
done it
what's
yet,
ahead of you, dude. It's awesome.
I bought them like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I haven't gone yet.
I had a conversation with someone the other day about like how overstimulated we are and how few things there are. Like when you find like the few things that don't involve you having like a second screen going or whatever. It's like, man, like I had like last week, I like sneaky had me a good week. I was like on the verge of happiness at points. I was outside.
Love that for
the
you.
whole time. Yeah. Weird look. Go off, King. But I was outside constantly just blading. Take a little break. Get back to blading. And it brought me some minor joy. I played basketball.
What?
That was crazy. Yeah. Look at me, though.
By
bragging.
yourself?
Yes. No, with some pals. And afterwards, I was like, remember when this is like
this is just what you did?
This is what you did.
Yeah.
And like, because we played a game of 21, and we were just like dying. And we were taking like constant water breaks like in the middle of this game. And I was like, we would play
like
just a game
3
outside
games
all day,
in a row.
then go inside, goof around on Napster, come back outside and just play more games.
Yeah.
Those were the
Washed,
days.
man.
Yeah.
I was packing last week, and I found my baseball glove upstairs, and I was just like, is it weird to just ask a fellow adult to be like,
Have a
hey,
catch?
you want to have a catch?
No.
I was thinking that it would be an awesome thing to do to just have a catch.
I was going through old pictures the other day, and I had a picture on my phone of me with the baseball glove, and I was like, when was I playing baseball recently? And it was from me and Gary Tangway shooting a scene from A League of Their Own.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I was like, I absolutely wasn't playing baseball. I don't know what I would do. I saw a video Jared Carabas posted of him he was like playing in a baseball game,
Yeah.
and he got hit by a pitch.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like fun.
F
No interest
that.
in that. No interest in that, but I'm definitely down to have a catch and be like sore for a week straight after that.
You're saying like, but you're not interested in like getting hit by a pitch, or you're
No.
saying like you're not interested in playing a baseball game? Zero interest in a baseball game.
Yeah, I'm more interested in like having a catch or going to the batting cages. I'm interested in like having
I barely want an at bat.
okay. I'm more interested in like the pieces of the thing without being the whole thing.
Yeah, a catch would be cool. I could.
I'm surprised we didn't do that when we went to the baseball field.
I say this with whatever respect or disrespect is meant towards both of us. I am not surprised that
That's fair.
we went to a baseball field for like 3 hours and the thought of playing baseball never even crossed our mind.
We did take a picture at home plate.
Yeah,
holding a baseball.
Yeah, I feel like we made some like baseball jokes. I think like we understood
thinking
that we
too.
were. Yeah.
We understood. We had spatial awareness. We knew where we were and what was like the
Generally.
society's expectation of us,
I
and
think.
like we're not doing that.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like I don't even think we were like, what if we go to a baseball field and don't play baseball? Like there's just never even the possibility of playing baseball or having a catch never crossed our mind. I wouldn't hate having a catch. I like having a catch with a football every now and then.
I'm
But
more
then
of a
you wanna
baseball
punt
guy.
it. I like to do. I get bored after like 3 or 4 tosses back and forth, and then I just let her rip. And then
Oh
like,
no!
it like goes like shankopotamus. Absolute shankopotamus.
I can just imagine like your friends being like, "All right, we'll have a catch.
Yeah.
Please don't fucking punt it."
It's always like a
then-
mindless thing though. I
and
don't
then,
even
like,
plan on doing it. Just
30 seconds in, just we specifically asked you not to punt the ball.
for a second, I was decent at punting. For a second,
I could see you being a punter. You're weird enough to be a punter.
I could have been.
I see you
be a
like
professional
being the
athlete
guy
who's
who
a
is just
punter.
like being a punter is my dream.
You know, that
Whereas like a lot of
people-
other people just kind of like fall into it.
right. I actually wouldn't even say that. There are like punting camps. One of my
Really?
friends back in the day was, oh yeah, he like knew all the punters in the NFL and everything, and I was like, oh, well, you're a big football fan, huh? And he was like, well, kind of. He was like, but I was like a punter in high school. I was like, oh, cool. So like, what? Why does that mean you know all of these guys? And he was like, oh, because like, you like if you take punting seriously, like they do have like these punting like academies and everything. And it's not crazy, I guess. Like
I
similar
guess
to how they
not.
do that with like the Peyton Manning camps and everything.
I just
like,
assume
you
that like
get,
if you
like,
end up
invited-
as a punter, you're just like I'm doing this because.
Oh
kind-
no, I think that's kind of I think that's like a kind of
But I also
jock mentality you're taking towards it.
not really, but because I feel like a lot of the times like punters don't like love football.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that they just like punting.
Yeah, Steven Gostkowski was a big hockey guy. I don't know if he necessarily preferred hockey, but he was a hockey guy. Keith Folk, I do believe, preferred hockey to the sport he played.
Really?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
Oh yeah, to recruit. I was annoyed last week when the Bruins signed. So the Bruins signed some guys, and
It's the best way to put it, for sure.
That is your authentic hockey podcast.
That's not him forgetting the names.
That
That's
is me
him
giving you the scoop.
That's right.
So they signed some guys, and Nick Foligno, one of the players they signed, said, I don't know if he was asked it or if it came up or whatever. He said, Patrice Bergeron, Bruins captain, texted me or something, or called me, and like we talked about like what it's like to play in Boston and everything. And the Bruins tweeted it out with like the screen grab of the quote or whatever, like this big art off the quote, and wrote Captain Recruiter. And I was like, no, like that's not like. Love Patrice Bergeron, and like I think Bergeron would say like that's not why he signed here. Like he got a good contract. There was an opportunity here with David Krejci's situation being up in the air. If you know anything about Nick Foligno and like his family, got strong ties to Boston given the hospitals. Like he like loves the city of Boston, and the team from Boston gave him a good contract.
Right.
It was probably more that than any.
It's a business
recruiting.
decision.
Right. So then that led to a conversation about when athletes are like quote unquote recruited by the players versus when they're just throwing a lot of money. And I was like, I do remember Bobby Orr called Keith Folk to talk him into pitching for the
Really?
Red Sox. Yeah.
Wow.
And the Red Sox gave him a huge contract. But yeah, Keith Folk, huge hockey guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I loved Keith Folk back in the day.
Yeah, same.
This was like post Brett Boone,
Close,
Joey
though.
Cora type of love. Yeah, probably 5 years later, 3, 4, 5 years.
I was
later.
big into Keith Folk when he was on the A's.
Same dude. He
Mhm.
won AL Fireman of the Year.
AL Fireman of the Year.
Yeah,
Is that a reliever award?
I believe so. Yeah, let's see. Fireman of the Year. Oh, presented by Rolaids, I think.
Rolaids reliever of the year, because Rolaids provides relief.
So now, okay, but at one point it was called, because of the
Fireman
first
of the
closers
Year.
were nicknamed Firemen. The award was first sponsored by the at some point.
That seems like stolen valor.
Yeah, right. So my guess is it was called Fireman of the Year, and they maybe changed it within the last 10, 15 years or something. They were like, nah, it's
We don't need to
feels
call
like
them a
little
first
uncomfortable.
responder.
Yeah, right. Like, again,
Although I guess when you think about it, like relief
they're
pitchers
the last
are
responder.
no, closers are the last responder.
Oh,
Relief
true.
pitchers are the first responders.
Okay, so Rolaids relief man, does that go to a? But it goes to a closer, right? Let's
Well, I
see.
mean, I would assume that closers get the most glory, so they probably
Right.
always get the relief pitcher.
This Wikipedia page is talking to me like I'm 5. Let me tell you. It says the Rolaids Relief Man Award was an annual Major League Baseball award given to blah, 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 blah. Won the American League, won the National League. Relief pitchers enter the game after the starting pitcher is removed.
That's outdated.
I know.
That's outdated. Now you got
Oh,
like
openers.
openers. That's right.
That's right. So
Not
sometimes
starters.
relief pitchers begin the game.
That's right.
Did we ever get into baseball? I can't remember. Like this year. Like, am I actively interested in baseball?
Yes.
You have to remind me.
Yeah, we are thinking 2 this year.
Oh, that's true. Right.
It's been a while since I've watched a baseball game, but
Yeah.
I'm still thinking 2.
Did we talk about it's been a while and how Aaron Lewis played it twice?
Yes. Yeah.
What a what a nutty fellow that guy is. So that's Ted Lasso talk. Hopefully we didn't spoil too much. That's Ted Lasso talk. Did you watch the Woodstock doc?
I did
thing?
not.
Was heavily persuaded into watching it by speaking to anyone I know. All
Really?
anyone is talking about is that Woodstock
When
doc.
did it come out?
Recently. It's a Bill Simmons thing. I did not
Oh,
know
really?
that. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's
Weirdly
got-
enough, I was in Buffalo this past weekend, and we were at a bar on Sunday, and just like the Red Sox Yankees 30 for 30 was on TV at the bar. I was like, this is very weird to be like in New York seeing the Red Sox 30 for 30 6 days in October.
Oh, true.
Very strange.
It's cool though being in New York if like there's anything going on Yankees Red Sox wise.
Not in Buffalo.
Watching the would are Buffalo would they be Blue Jays fans?
Yeah, I think so now. Yeah.
Because they're not. You got to think they're not Yankees fans. They're not Sabres fans.
That's
Oh.
right. That's right.
Getting a little dig at the Buffalo Sabres. They're having a
Yeah, I
rough
think
go of it.
that they've like may have adopted the Blue Jays because of the like the COVID
cooler
thing.
hats.
That's right.
Although no, are Yankees hats cooler than Blue Jays?
Yeah, Yankees hats are very cool.
Yankees hats are they might be Rushmore.
But
huh?
Mets could be in that discussion too.
Love Mets hats.
But like no, but like Yankees hats are cooler than Mets hats.
Of course, yeah. Yankees hats are probably Rushmore. They're probably Yankees hats are there with like Canadians and Leafs jerseys, and what else is cool? The Mighty Ducks jersey I'm currently looking at. I really like the sand colored Anaheim Ducks jerseys though.
Ew.
I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
We had to have spoken about that at some point. Like the most outrageous move a franchise has ever made is going from the coolest
The
white,
coolest branding
purple,
ever.
teal, yeah, to
Best logo, best jerseys. Everybody unanimously was
Yeah.
like, these are awesome.
all right, we're changing it to a bad logo, but don't worry if you're worried like, oh, they're going to change the colors. We are to sand.
Black and sand.
Sand.
And at the beginning they did the now they have like the webbed foot D.
Yeah.
At the beginning they literally spelled out Anaheim Ducks across the entire middle of the jersey, and they immediately won the Stanley Cup in them.
Yes. Oh,
It's so
gross.
terrible.
Gross. How many times do you think in like the presentations or the pitches for when they were designing that, do you think the word sand was said and met with like a silent like oh, I can do sand.
Not bad. We have a lot of beaches
I
here.
think oh, maybe that is I was going to Google like is there any connection there,
I
but
think it's because of the beaches. I know that they have been getting really in on Orange because of Orange County.
ooh. Aren't you glad I brought up Jersey stuff? You taught me something there, bud.
There you go.
That's very cool. So that's Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso Talk Part 2.
Ted Lasso. Oh man, you don't know what happened. So you haven't seen the most recent episode.
I haven't seen the most recent
Which
episode.
means you don't even know what happened in it.
I don't. That's how that
Some
works.
stuff happens. In
Okay.
It.
I hope so.
I'll say Ted's kind of tested. They test him, and
Wouldn't be the first time.
yeah,
He tested quite a bit in season 1.
he does face a lot of adversity
That's right. I mean, like,
on and off. The
everything's
field.
working against him.
On and off the field.
I really like the way that they approached like his wife
Yes.
and like their divorce.
that was like one of my favorite messages.
Yeah.
Of the
It was
thing.
like, hey, you don't have to have like there doesn't have to be a bad person here. Sometimes it just doesn't work
Totally.
out.
That's been a mindset I've had with most things because it's so easy to just be like, and maybe that's how people cope with certain things. And I'm not just talking about like relationships. I'm talking about any change, like work, whatever changes someone might go through. Like it's easy to be like, oh, well that's bad, and whatever I'm doing now
Yeah.
is automatically better. Like
Clear villain.
right, it probably makes it easier to get through things and everything, but there's a very good chance that, especially if it's something like a relationship, that like you're both good people, you like
Right.
each other for a reason.
If you have a
It didn't-
child,
it
you want to
didn't
stay in
work
each other's
out.
lives.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but you don't need to hate each other. But I didn't expect it to be that heavy.
No,
So everybody was just like, Ted Lasso, it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing.
there are like a few like pretty like tough, testy subjects that they go over, like
Yeah.
his anxiety attack at
Yeah.
the bar, like that was something, and then like obviously like going through the divorce, both him and his wife and Rebecca
Yeah.
and her. Well, like that's a real like. If you want to see, there is a piece of shit on the other
Oh,
end.
right.
Yeah.
I'll clarify. A lot of times there is a bad guy in it. And I just love how they handled that. Like Rebecca was like, did like a
A lot of
horrible thing.
unforgivable things.
Right, like very easy for
Yeah.
Ted Lasso to be like, this is a terrible person.
Yeah.
But he kind of just believed in her.
Yeah.
That's so I know I just sound like a dummy basic.
It's
I'm
like it's
watching
hard
Ted
not to be like
Lasso.
sappy and
Yeah.
like
But he's
it's cute.
yeah. He's a
It's hilarious
it
that a
hasn't
show.
cost him yet.
It's hilarious that a show that good has like come out of a NBC Sports like
I know.
segment thing.
I know. I was like a quick little thing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I remembered seeing that back in the like a couple years ago. How many? Somewhat odd number of years ago when like promoting the EPL.
Ah.
So I remember being
I
like,
know what it was back then.
yeah, that's right. And now it was born out of that. It's hilarious.
Wow. You didn't watch any of the Gold Cup, did you?
No.
It's where they, according to a now frequently retweeted news telecast, the U.S. men won the World Cup.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
But shout out the U.S. men's national team. Did not. I wouldn't say did not see them being more successful this past week than the women's national team, because I don't want to pit them against each other. But yeah, like U.S. won gold.
Goes against the trends, that's for sure.
Right. That's what, yeah. I was like, I'm going down a road now where I'm just like gonna be mean to the men's national team for not being like the machine that the women's national team is. But I didn't. I was gonna stay up till 4 to watch the game that they lost. I didn't, so now I get to pretend it didn't happen.
Very cool. I haven't watched any of the Olympics really.
I've watched some of it. I got to do some Olympic shows.
Yeah, I did see that. I didn't actually see it, but I did see
Sure.
through you that you were doing that.
It was like very newsy, broadcastery type of thing.
Yeah, and you did. I saw a picture. There was skateboarding in the background.
There was right. It was like a thing.
You are a skateboarding reporter now.
Yeah, I was like, something along the lines of like, skateboarding is a way to kill. Like I kind of Wikipedia Rolaids Relief Manned it. Like skateboarding is like this dope ass cool thing, and like people loved it. And Tony Hawk, blah blah. Now
Never
it's
forget.
in the Olympics. Here's Naoko Funayama, and
Hell yeah.
tossed to our friend Naoko Funayama, who's there.
What a
and, like, did
dream.
this awesome, dude, it was the best one of my life. I asked them afterwards. I was like, "Hey, can you clip me just saying here's Naoko Funayama, and then like Naoko talking?" So and they were like, there's like legal reasons why with like Olympic logos and stuff, they're like, you're not allowed to really share it. And I was like, well, just play it back for me. Just let me see it.
Please let me relive this dream that
Yeah.
I've been working towards my entire life.
It was
I
like
miss
the
Naoko so bad.
Ron Swanson, like, eat that steak in front of me. You normally hate watching myself, but
Same.
but like, she was saying that all the various like NBC places tossed to that package in like a million different. So like a bunch of different people had to do like the here's Naoko Funayama.
I just want a
And I was
super
like,
cut of
no
a
one
bunch
was
of.
beaming like
Yeah.
I was though.
I just want a super cut of people tossing to Naoko.
Yeah, Naoko's the greatest, and she does sidelines for. Our friend Naoko Funayama, longtime Bruins rinkside ice level reporter. Now she does it for the Revs, and she's the coolest person in the world
Absolute goat.
for sure. Goat stuff. We talk about Here Comes the Pizza.
We did. We got talking about the Woodstock documentary, and then somehow didn't talk about it at all.
Naoko came up. Naoko's better. It's solid. It's horrifying.
It's HBO, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's tough. Like that, it should like come with a trigger warning, because like everybody knows that Woodstock '99 was a disaster, and I won't give stuff away because I want you to watch it. But my memory of it, you had to have like followed along with it.
I remember like seeing it
Maybe,
on
like,
the
a month too
news. Yeah, I remember seeing it on the news, and remember it like everybody talking about it and how much of a disaster it was. I don't remember like details of it.
So my memory of it was Woodstock '99 and all these places. Like that was the first way I heard of like. Actually, I'd probably.
I've heard of the regular Woodstock
yeah.
like after Woodstock '99.
I
Woodstock entered my vocabulary and my brain through '99.
definitely for either '99 or '94. One of those. One like a '90s Woodstock is what put Woodstock on the map for me as well. But I just knew that it was like the thing where all the rock bands were playing, and MTV was like covering it, and it looked so cool because Limp Bizkit and Korn and Metallica and everybody was there, Offspring. And then I just remember the last night everything was on fire, and I remembered it being because it was too hot and they weren't properly prepared and they charged too much for water. And like some of those things are definitely true, but like I didn't know that it was like beginning to end like legitimate nightmare stuff. Like I said, like it like that that documentary should like come with a trigger warning because awful shit was going on. It was just like the height of like people. We talk about like pop culture stuff of like, man, like when we watched Chasing Amy, we were like, man, dudes in the 90s were the worst. But like you watch this shit and you're like, holy God, like how any of the shit that they show in this documentary, you're like, if you saw dudes being this violent and this aggressive and this like horrible with like no consideration for, I was say like anyone but themselves, but like all they want is it's like the Purge out there. It's horrifying, but you're like, if any of this, because like we've been to music festivals,
right? And
like,
everybody's very nice and
right,
like
it's nothing
yeah.
but like positivity and like
everybody's having the best time of their lives,
right?
Yeah.
Everyone's supporting each other, and I was like, I don't know, like I everyone was saying like you got to watch the Woodstock documentary. It's crazy. You got to watch it. It's crazy, and I just had my memory of that's what it was, and then seeing it and seeing how chaotic it was. It's like, man, you'll be shook watching that. But they have a lot of good people on it. Steve Hyden.
Oh, very cool.
He's like a prominent voice in it.
Okay.
Do you know who Dave Mustaine is?
No.
Guitarist and lead singer of the band Megadeth. His kind of claim to fame is that, I suppose, but his story is he was, I don't know if he was the original lead guitarist, but he was like the first real lead guitarist for Metallica, and they kicked him out right before they blew up.
Okay.
And his life has been like a tortured, depressed mess out of it, and like really angry, like his music's really angry. Like he's just like a very kind of sad.
That's a tough thing to overcome.
Yeah, and especially like as a metal musician, which has like so much aggression. But I just always like remembered, and I was like a Megadeth fan and everything. But I was even like back before like feeling bad for someone was a thing. You just like felt terrible that like he clearly carried this burden. Like he clearly was like never over it. But he's in this documentary. And he's like, I hadn't heard from him in a long time, and now he's like an old guy, and this like person that's always been known as like super angry and like super
aggressive,
sad,
yeah,
is like this kind of like funny old guy. Like he's like he's talking about, they talk about Metallica versus Napster and everything. So of course they want like a quote from him about it, like talking shit about Lars Ulrich, and I'll let you see it, but he's just so funny. He's like, "Oh, I gotta watch myself. You gotta make sure I don't say anything I'm gonna regret here." And I'm like, angry Dave Mustaine is like a sweet, silly old man. So that's like the only time you smile during that.
Is it like a one-shot documentary, like couple hours, or is it like a series?
This is part of a series that he's doing, but it's similar to the Britney thing where like
it's like a one-off
standalone thing, but it's part of a bigger thing. But it definitely, I think this is installment 1.
Okay.
Everybody's talking about it. Everyone's seeing it. So good job planning wise from Bill Simmons.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like what a negative episode. I feel like we talked about how people got in hot water, got a nice little break.
We had Ted Lasso talk.
I feel like, yeah, Ted Lasso is strong enough to bring vibes up, even if you get them super low. So hopefully this wasn't a super depressing episode, but yeah, they're all depressing episodes in some way, shape, or form.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you
take it or leave it.
Yeah, we love you.